Welcome. Today we're going to operate a flight from the George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston, Texas, to Louis Armstrong New Orleans International Airport in New Orleans, Louisiana. The flight plan has us depart on the Gumby 3 departure to Gusty, then proceed directly to Audad, for the Audad 1 arrival. We're almost ready to push back from the gate. We're expecting runway 15 left for departure, which is a short taxi, so we'll start both engines once we've pushed. With clearance to push, we're on our way. Once both engines are running, the flaps are set to 1 degree, and the checklist performed. There's no one in line for departure, so we'll be cleared for takeoff shortly. The before takeoff checklist is completed, and a good lookout for traffic made in both directions, prior to entering the runway. Thrust is increased to 40% in 1, and a check made for stable thrust and directional control, before selecting toga thrust.
Positive rate of climb.
The Gumby 3 departure has an initial speed restriction of 230 knots. We also have to be below 4,000 feet at Deucin, and below 5,000 feet at Gumby. With autothrottles and VNAV, the restrictions are easily made. Passing 10,000 feet, the aircraft accelerates to the speed on the climb page of the FMC. Let's update it to 300 knots, and change the cruise and descent speeds too. After obtaining the weather, we can set the altimeter setting at the destination. And can set up for the ILS approach to runway 11 using the chart's briefing strip. As always, we add a 2-mile ring around the final approach fix for situational awareness. We select an approach reference speed for flaps 30 and set auto brakes to level 2. The minimums of 204 feet are also set. A landing assessment is made, based on flaps 30, air conditioning packs on, operational reverse thrust on landing, and auto brakes set to level 2. We're now in cruise at flight level 310. To help VNAV calculate a descent path for the arrival that takes into account the tailwind, let's add forecast winds in the descend section of the flight management computer. We can manually type in the flight level and winds. Here we can see the winds are from 295 degrees at 39 knots at flight level 310. We could obtain wind information from the release for other flight levels or request descend winds using the FMC. Entering tailwinds causes the FMC to adjust the top of descent point, creating a path that can be maintained without overshooting altitudes in an effort to maintain speed restrictions due to higher ground speed, or requiring pilot input to make restrictions on the arrival. Once cleared for the arrival, we can set the lowest, referred to as bottom altitude on the arrival, in this case, 11,000 feet at AUDAD. In order for the aircraft to descend with the path, ensure VNAV path is the active mode. The path is shown on the navigational display, and the pointer is in the middle when we are on it. A profile view of our descent path can also be shown on the navigational display. As we approach AUDAD, attention is made to ensure we pass it at 11,000 feet and at 250 knots. We may have to use flight spoilers if necessary. We were cleared for the approach and are descending to 2,000 feet. We'll switch to approach mode just prior to the final approach fix. To be configured at the final approach fix, some energy management is necessary. We still have a bit of a tailwind, so set 220 knots, and we'll let the aircraft slow down to within the flap speed range. The 2-mile ring around the final approach fix makes it easy to see where the fix is and how far we have to ideally be fully configured. However, that's not always possible. When we don't expect to use the spoilers again in the descent, we arm them for landing. The final approach fix is our next fix, so we switch to approach mode. We'll descend on the ILS glide slope now.
approaching minimums. 300. Minimums. 200. 100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
We hope you enjoyed this short flight from Houston to New Orleans. We discussed various operational considerations along the way, and setup and flew an ILS approach. Please click like if you enjoyed. Please subscribe. And please join us next time, as we continue to learn more about the 737. Thank you.